Hello friends and welcome back for another episode of Indie Impressions. My name is Nick and today we're going to be checking out a game called Drifter by developer Softwave to get us back into the Indie Impression series. We've been on a bit of a hiatus for about a month or so, and in case you didn't catch it, I did actually make a little video, sort of like a vlog thing, describing what's been going on. I've been having some personal issues and such that have not led me to be able to devote as much time as I'd like to my YouTube channel, so in case you missed it, there will be a link to that in the description. But for today, we're going to be doing some exploration, first-person style, in a desolate desert, and it looks very interesting and atmospheric, and that is absolutely what I need to get back into the mood to find out about another 1,000 indie games. I don't know if they'll be consecutively, but I am hoping to get this to be, back as a channel staple again. Anyway, let's jump into the game and see what we can discover. Alright, we wake up inside of some sort of space capsule trailer type situation, very futuristic neon, like I said, lo-fi, and we've got a very awe-inspiring soundtrack playing in the background. This sort of looks like a Mac OS screensaver or something playing on this monitor. I'm sure it's some sort of seismographic reading or, reading some kind of infrared signature. I have no idea what it's doing, but it's doing something, and it's colorful, and we like that. We've got this little monolith obelisk type thing with a neon thing going on in there, and a little monitor here. Oh, maybe a camera to the outside that we can turn on and off. Maybe a tiny water cooler here. Kind of adorable, actually, although we seem to be able to clip through it. Alright, no biggie. I guess that leaves us with one thing, and that is to go outside and actually do some exploration. So we've opened the door. We've got a dynamic shadow here, which follows... Well, we've got some lovely low-res stuff that follows suit with the rest of the theme, and it does sort of break up the edges of the shadows, which may or may not be an issue for some people. I think thematically it makes sense that it would work that way. I kind of wish that the shadow on the player that, we're actually casting didn't have to remind me that we're actually just the default Unity pill. Maybe that's not an issue for many people, but I'd rather that the shadow is just disabled in that case, because I find that it kind of takes me out of the situation a little bit. So whatever this is, we seem to have found some kind of little light-up cube that we can pick up and toss around, and when we're holding it, it seems to be emitting some sort of electrostatic frequency. So maybe we're meant to bring this somewhere. Maybe we put it on this little plate here, or I don't know if there's supposed to be collection of items. That actually looks like it fits pretty well inside of that, so maybe we should put it in there. See if square peg fits square hole. Ah! Yes, a perfect holding place for that item, whatever it happens to be. Now, if we could pick up this... No, we can't. I was thinking pick up that whole thing, then put that on top of this, but maybe there's a separate item that goes on top of that plate, and then maybe we will have restored power or something like that. So this game was actually created as a bit of an exploration experiment for the developer to try and learn Unity a bit, and the description says that it's going to be having a little bit more in terms of updates for more interaction later on. I'd be curious to see where we go with that. Oh, okay. This is moving. I thought this was a static bit in the landscape. Is this what, like, tumbleweeds look like on Mars? We can kind of zoom in with our right click, by the way, in case you didn't know. I don't know if this is some sort of wildlife or... Oh, I touched it, and it shot away from me. Also, I can sprint, and I didn't even realize I wasn't paying attention to that. So I can grab it, but it doesn't actually do anything. Alright, good to know. So this is sort of ambient spectrum life forms around the world that we might run into. This tree is dead. Well, that's sad. It kind of looks like a hair jutting out of the ground, as if we're on some sort of giant person's face. And slowly but surely the beard will creep in. That would actually be really creepy. Like, you find out... Oh, this is obviously what's meant to go here. After the course of, like, 20 days and nights... Little by little, the ground starts to... You think it's grass, of course, but then you realize you're actually on a giant person's face. You discover the eyeball one day. That would be very interesting. I'd love to see that. So, we've got runes, for sure. There's definitely this broken building here. Nothing in it. There's this shell of a building over here, with the one with the hair coming out of it next to it. And this little shack. All of these are broken apart. I'm really enjoying some of these stark visuals, though. I don't know what it is about the lo-fi... thing that I've seen it done a bunch of times. Every time I find it very awe-inspiring. It really does seem to add something to the games in that case. I guess it kind of leaves more to the imagination. And I guess paired with a really nice soundtrack, you end up kind of imagining a world that is maybe even more majestic than you're actually given visually. Also, I really like what it does with the shininess of things. It's sort of a nondescript, not really very tangible thing to describe or get into, but overall, I think you end up with this feeling of sort of metallic vibrancy that you can't really come across another way. What is this little thing? Some sort of future trilobite? Or a nanomachine gone rogue that's turned into a giant rupee? I don't know. I can't seem to pick it up or move it, so I guess it's just sort of a space Roomba. I guess I'll leave it alone to its own devices then. It's over here. I see a monolith off in the distance. A little chunk missing out of it. Too bad there's not a little bit more in the way of interactivity. But like I said, the developer knows that's an issue. Maybe he's going to add more in the future. Honestly, it's very cohesive. The theme here seems to be really, really well implemented. Just a little bit more to see and do, perhaps, because I feel like we're running out of content already, but that's okay. This was, again, just a little refresher course in the ways of indie impressions. We find games like this, we look around them, we talk about them, and that's just kind of what we do. Discover the undiscoverable, or the things that are somewhat hidden below the surface whenever possible. Oh, this looks like it does actually go off into the distance a little bit here. Alright, so I'm going to have to at least go out to whatever these mountainous areas are. Is this another outer space Roomba? Yes, it is. Can I ride on top? No. Maybe it could hitch a ride on top. It would take me to a secret lair or something. Oh, I should have gone back into the building and seen if adding those 2 bits to those sockets actually changed anything inside. I'm going to end up lost real soon. It strikes me that the next obvious thing to do for this, beyond add more interactable stuff, would be to also add some sort of a resource management element to this. Although I imagine that would probably take away from some of the awe in being able to just sort of wander about freely. But I could see this being actually pretty cool if you'd spend some time having to look for, you know, some sort of way to replenish your thirst or hunger or oxygen or what have you. Maybe it could be used to sort of lead the player around to discover certain sites. And maybe there could be a little life lesson at the end of the whole thing about, you know, solidarity and human companionship and what it means to be alone. I don't know, it could be very depressing as well, as there's a lot of options we could take this in. I wonder what this was supposed to be before it was destroyed. Anyway, this is a really good example of what I meant by, like, how things have a really heightened sense of kind of metallic property to them. For some reason, the way that the light cascades across surfaces in this lo-fi thing, it just really resonates better for me. There's also a little bit of a bloom around the edge, too, if you look very carefully. Subtle, but there is a little bit more light there. Alright. Well, it seems like this desert actually sprawls out quite a ways further than I expected it to. I'm certainly not saying that like it's a bad thing. Wow. This is very expansive, actually. I really thought we were going to run into an end void area very quickly. It's a thing I tend to see constantly when I play Unity games. People just often make a plane, sit everything on top of it, and then don't even really put much thought as to whether or not the player will reach the edge of that plane and how we want to talk about what happens then. Very commonly, it's just that you fall off the edge of the plane and are either just falling off into the void forever, or you end up respawning at a point of origin, wherever they choose to put you. Oh, there's actually more stuff here. This is actually really cool. Alright, so we've got some sort of pink living tree. It's like the last life form that I've discovered on this planet so far. I don't seem to be able to interact with it. There doesn't seem to be any kind of text pop-up like there was with the tree is dead. Which is actually a little curious, because why would you only have one text pop-up? Maybe it's just for us to decide what the implications are. I really like these shadows as well. Having it be surrounded by stones like this lets the lighting come back into play a little bit more. Now, I'm having a little trouble realizing which direction I started out in and if I'm going in loops or not. But I should probably have used my shadow to guide me, because I don't think the sun is moving, right? No, stationary. Alright, so you can use shadows to kind of guide yourself around. What is that? Oh, is that the life form I discovered earlier? Maybe we're headed back to our shuttle right now. I think that may be the case. Yeah, because I remember this little shell of a building here. Alright, so now we can actually hop back inside and close the door. Did I affect anything? So this is the life form, I guess, we were tracking. And this monitor seems to have not changed. Alright, I was hoping that maybe setting those little boxes up would change something, but doesn't seem to be the case. Anyway, this was Drifter. I don't want to belabor our time here, but there's probably a few more things that we haven't discovered. If you want to take a look around, you can go ahead and check it out. There will be a link in the description as always, and it's a name-your-own-price affair since it's on itch.io, so you can feel free to contribute to the developer if you choose, and I always recommend that you do so if you can, in order to continue to fund interesting and original ideas like this. So thanks everybody for watching, thanks for returning to Indie Impressions. I hope to have another one up fairly soon. I don't know if it'll be daily, but at least I'd like to get a couple, if not a few of these up each week. There's certainly a lot of games that I need to cover. In fact, my backlog is so enormous now that I may never get to them all. But there's some big ones that I definitely do want to hit, so look forward to that. Thank you for watching. Hopefully you'll leave a like if you enjoyed the video, and I will see you for the next one. Have a great night, everybody.